Hi, I'm Harry Rock, and welcome to another edition of Westfield Council on Aging Presents. This is a special collaborative effort between Tina Gorman, Executive Director of the Westfield Senior Center, and Pete Coles, producer of WCPC Westfield Cable Channel 15. Today we have Elaine Lees in the studio. She's the owner of Art by Choice. And Elaine, wonderful to have you with us today. I thought this was very apropos that you got lined up by Tina to show us how to do a art project for the holidays, and we'll get into that in just a second. But I think it's always interesting for our viewers to learn a little bit about who I'm interviewing, and just tell us a little bit about us. I understand you grew up in Westfield, is that correct?
Yes, I did. I grew up in Westfield.
Were you born here?
I was born here, actually, right at Noble Hospital.
Oh, my goodness, is that right?
And I believe it was an old building then.
Yeah, it's even older now.
Even much older.
Right.
Okay, and yes, I was raised here and went to school here all my life.
Wow, very interesting. Which high school were you at?
I was at the Smith Avenue building. That was the high school when I went to school. And then I went on to study at Westfield State and
Okay.
get 2 degrees there.
Wow. And so what did you do for your career?
For my career, I was an elementary teacher right here in Westfield. I taught in several of the schools and retired from Franklin Avenue.
Wow. Did you enjoy teaching?
I loved it.
What
Loved it.
age group were you in, or grade level?
Mostly 4th and 5th, but I also taught special education and a little bit of art.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, my wife was a third grade teacher here. She was at Mosley and then up at Highland School as well. So
Nice.
loved her years here as well. So I know art has been your passion. So tell us a little bit, when did you discover art and the fact that you were crafty?
Well, I think I definitely discovered it in high school. It was not that glamorous at the time because I was always commissioned to do the programs and all of the posters for anything that went on in high school. So I believe that the artwork became a spin-off from doing all of that. And then it went on to doing some set designs for different plays that the high school would put on. And that way I kept involved.
Oh, that's really, really neat. Now, were you interested in any particular form of art, or did you have, or just in art in general?
I think art in general. I do think I have a strength in illustration,
Okay.
which was a gift because I have not studied illustration a lot. I have had to study more how to paint and how to work with colors. But illustration is my love.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, did you get into sculptures or just working with oils and acrylics for painting? And
I never really did much sculpture. Most of my work, my initial work in art or painting was in oils, and I still believe that is the best medium to work in. However, now I do a lot of acrylics and watercolors as well. Watercolor being the biggest challenge.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, have you been in any of the art shows? You know, Westfield's gotten very active with the arts.
Off and on, I have done a few, but not many lately.
Okay.
My focus has mainly been the senior center. The group there keeps me busy.
All right, we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I understand that you do have your own business called Art by Choice.
Yes.
So when did you start that?
Well, art by choice has been kind of an adjunct to my teaching. Teaching is my favorite thing to do, but I do things at home and I do sell them. I've done craft fairs and a few shows. I don't really have a big business because, as I said, I would prefer to teach it to other people.
What is it about teaching that you enjoy so much? Obviously, it's part of your blood.
Right. I think the appeal right now is that the only thing I have to teach is art and artwork, where in the past my teaching was divided. Being an elementary teacher, you had to teach everything, where now I can focus just on teaching art. And I love it. I love it dearly when I show something to someone and the next thing I know they reproduce it. They're able to do it.
Okay. Well, obviously, someone's really interested in the show already, and they're calling you. So we're going to take a quick break so you can take that call. And we're back. Well, that was a call from Santa. Can you believe it? He actually was watching this interview and was so excited to hear about this Christmas art project that we got going that he wanted to give a call and just could say congratulations on helping him make all the houses look so festive so that he can make his stop with all the presents.
No, you know what I think he really wanted? I think he really wanted a Santa portrait.
And you could probably do that, that's for
could.
sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how did you get started at the Senior Center teaching art?
At the senior center, it was a very nice shoe-in, so to speak. I was studying there and taking lessons from the teacher that was there, 10 years or more ago. And when she retired, Tina Gorman invited me to take the class. So
Okay.
that was a wonderful fit. And along with other activities at the senior center, I was there several times a week. So it worked.
And so I understand that you do, other than COVID right now, you're not teaching, but normally you do have a class that goes on. You go right to the Senior Center and
I
teach?
do indeed. Yes, I do.
And what is it that you teach and what days and times are you there?
Well, it's referred to as the painting class, but we do a lot more than painting. It is every Thursday when we are not crippled by COVID. It is every Thursday afternoon from 1 to 3.
Okay. And can anybody sign up for that?
Yes, anyone can sign up.
Regardless of experience or
Regardless of
ability?
experience, I always get the story, I can't draw a straight line. Well, you don't need to draw a straight line. Yes, and most people are very successful. Generally, together we can find something everyone can do and excel at.
Is that class on a session, so they have to start on a certain date, or is it a drop-in
No.
and anybody can come at any time?
It's more drop-in. However, it is best when I do a lesson if you stick with it till you finish it. So run it over a course of maybe 2 or 3 weeks and get the most out of it. You'll learn something. And people who come in not on the start of a lesson try to catch up with my help.
Okay. Well, and is there a charge for it?
Yes, the charge is $5 a week.
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
very affordable.
It is very affordable.
So people, if you're looking for something fun to do, when we get out of COVID and the Senior Center gets reopened, and we can't wait for that day to happen.
Exactly.
If you want to explore your artistic ability, that's a great thing to do. So think about on Thursday afternoons. What a great way to spend your afternoon, but with Elaine, learning how to paint. So I understand that you also have been involved in some service projects. You were mentioning that you have been part of the City of Westfield Christmas card.
Yes, for a few years, not last year, the mayor's office was in the habit of having the art class produce a City of Westfield card that he mailed out. So sometimes it was very specific. He would request a building or a scene in Westfield, and sometimes it was a little more free form. So we did do that for 2 or 3 years in a row. I believe last year he did Christmas cards from the students in the public schools.
Oh, wow. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
And then you were also mentioning something about scenes of Westfield.
Yes, quite recently, Matt Seklecki here at the Voc Academy, excuse me, who has printed many items up for us, offered to do a calendar. So the calendar is going to include scenes of Westfield.
Oh, wow.
I have not seen it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fantastic. All of the work that will be in the calendar will be work that my students have done.
I can't wait to see that. That
I
sounds
can't
really
wait
exciting.
either.
Right. Oh, that's great. Well, let's talk a little bit about what we're doing today. This is a Christmas craft or a holiday craft that anyone can do at home. So you want to describe what it is and how people can get started with it. And then we'll move over to the craft table and we'll actually have you do a demonstration.
Okay, very good. It is very simple. Tina originally mentioned that I might want to plan something out that people would have all the material at home for so they wouldn't have to go out and shop for things. None of us are in a big shopping spree mode, I don't believe, trying to keep ourselves not exposed to any germs that are out there. So I tried to plan something that you would have all the materials at home. I am doing a Christmas door deco, I'm calling it. It is just a simple tree with decorations fashioned from products that you have in your kitchen or you might have kicking around in the desk drawer. I believe she might have said something to me about listing items that you would need. You'll need a sheet of colored paper, or you can use a sheet of white paper. I am working on a piece of cardboard because I'm using an easel, standing that up so you can see. However, you can work right on your table at home or on a counter. I have some hot glue and white glue choice. I have some trim. I have some scissors. I have also a little bit of paint. I'll show a couple of techniques to decorate with. And it's a matter of cutting out and gluing things down onto this very simple tree.
All right, so you're going to give us a full demonstration, walk us through it, and then people can watch this video. It will be on YouTube. So this will be, if you've missed part of the show and you want to see a repeat of how she does it, you can go to channel 15 and see when we'll be broadcasting that. But it's also on YouTube, and you'll be able to watch that at your convenience at any time to get a in-depth look at how this craft goes. So we're going to move over. We're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to get repositioned behind the craft table, and we'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
And we're back. Through the magic of TV, we've got Elaine Lee set up at a separate table right next to me, where she's going to be demonstrating the art project that she's got for us today called Decor. So Elaine, we're excited to have you here as we get ready for the holiday season. And, you know, if there's anything that really brings joy to people's lives, it's the ability to decorate their homes and just make everything look festive. I know my wife is already talking to me, getting our lights up, and, you know, all the Christmas decorations are coming out. So let's talk a little bit about what you've got on the table here and how what they should find in their home and how we can get started.
Okay, very good. What I have here is a door decoration. You could actually use it anywhere in your home, see fit, a window. And the nice thing about it is most of the items that you're going to use are things that you do have around the house. You might not have colored paper, so I encourage you to use a piece of white paper if you have nothing else. We have tin foil, we have scraps of paper, we have white glue, I have a glue gun, scissors, pencils, chalk, miscellany from your house. I think at this time when we're really not going out to shop any more than we have to, it would be important to have a project that you could do from what's at home. So let's begin. I'm going to start with a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to set that up on my easel. You, however, are working perhaps at a table or a counter, so don't let this throw you. You can work on a piece of newspaper or anything that you have at hand to keep your surface clean. The project will look something like this when it's finished. Yours will not be exactly like mine because it's yours. We want it to be yours individually. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of colored red paper. It's the normal letter size paper. And to get the shape, fold it in half the long way. So corner to corner, and then press in the middle. So you have the long fold. Then you'll need a ruler or a straight edge to draw a straight line. I'm going to use chalk, piece of chalk, and a ruler. And you want that fold to stay right to one side, and you're going to draw a straight edge from the top of the folded corner to the open edge. So your straight edge, mine isn't terribly straight, will look like this. Folded edge, open edge. All right, and then we're going to cut it right on that line. Takes just a minute. And then we have the tree shape when we open it up. Now this is truly a simple project. And the nice thing is, if you have grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces or nephews that come over, you could do it as a group project. Kind of fun in these days when we're inside a lot, trying to keep ourselves busy. Okay, now this is going to go on my piece of cardboard so I can work from here. I'm going to pop a little bit of hot glue on the back of it so it'll stay still. You can use a clamp. I have a clamp there, or a paper clip. That would work, as long as it's stationary for the moment. You don't have to do anything else to it right now. Now, people are going to say, well, tree looks like it's floating in the air. With your scraps that you've got left, you can fashion a bucket for the bottom, and that can be just a rectangle. So something just like this, or if you want to fold it in half, you can give it a little bit of a shape by, again, maybe cutting from the middle bottom up to the corner. So it's got kind of a bucket look to it. Something like this would work. Doesn't have to be too fancy. And again, I'm going to hot glue that in place because it's much faster. So now we've got what resembles a tree somewhat. All right, the next thing we need to do is decorate it. Now, as I showed you the sample that I started with, you probably noticed that I had some stickers. Now, these are pricing stickers that I had in the bottom of my desk drawer, and you can start with those, and you can place them anywhere on the tree. This saves from drawing each one in. But if you don't have anything like that, it's fine to take your chalk perhaps and perhaps fashion some just circles. Like I said, I'm keeping it simple. Anywhere you like on the tree. Random, we'll call it. Okay, the other thing I have some of those tag sale stickers. We never know what to do with the blue ones. They're too dark to write on. So here we go. Again, we can use these to decorate. Very simple. You don't have to cut it out. Of course, if you want, with the kids, they love to cut things out. Or if you're working yourself, if you have some paper that you can cut circles out from. Old Christmas cards are great. They have very festive colors and decos. Tin foil, maybe. Anything will work to get your balls all over the tree, or ornaments, so to speak. So the next thing, perhaps, is something a little different. I thought maybe, to give it a little bit of glitz and glimmer, I would take some tin foil out of my kitchen cabinet and fashion some little ornaments to put on the tree. And these are very simple to fashion. I'll stick one up with glue. You saw it on the sample, but this is how it's going to look. Whoopsie. Get it up there. And it will be another all over the tree item. I took a sheet, maybe this big, didn't want to waste it. Crumple it up, just like this. Almost looks like a star. And put that on the tree as well. Okay, so you can continue that with several pieces until you think you've got enough on your tree. Sometimes less is better, but it all depends. You can also use paint. If you wanted to paint items on your tree, that would work as well. As I said, be creative. Use things around the house. That's what this is all about. Okay. Now, the next thing, we can employ some paint. As I mentioned, paint. And I have just a little bit of a bottle of white paint here. And I have a sponge that I cut off of my sponge that was on the kitchen sink with a clothespin, and you can use that to decorate as well by just dipping the wet sponge into the paint, which is not cooperating. There we go. And then you can apply that to the tree to give it another snowy sort of feature. Now, if you don't have white paint, I'm going to tell you, white shoe polish will work even. So, anywhere you like, adding this feature of sponge painting gives it a little, almost a textured look. Everybody got it? Okay. Next, perhaps you might want to add some tinsel, if you have tinsel in your Christmas collection, or you can use colored ribbon, or for that matter, you can use strips of paper. I stripped up a few pieces of paper just for this cause. And how do we do that? Well, we kind of measure where we want it to go, bend it, and then cut it. Again, a little bit of white glue if you're working with white glue, or hot glue will do it. And that's going to go right across your tree for trim. Now you can do several of these, and you can do several with different colors. There's a green one. And I'm sure you get the idea. Cutting it to fit. And it goes on. I even have a beige one, no color. And that would work down lower, making a bigger one, longer one, I should say. I think you get the idea. If you want to get more glamorous, not a problem. I believe a gift was decorated with this last year, and it was in the box. So here we go again. You can use anything from your Christmas box to decorate the tree. Same thing, I measured it, I'm cutting it. I'm dotting my tree with a little bit of hot glue, and I'm going to keep the decoration going. So now we've added something a little more tactile. You could use tinsel as well. And you could put as many of these as you want on your tree. And it does start to look a little more festive. You would probably put more on, but I am in a time crunch here, so I want to get everything out for you to use and apply. All right, the next thing is our bucket looks a little bit plain and unadorned. Well, as you can well imagine, you could use any of these items to decorate the bucket. Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe you just want to use the chalk to fill in a little bit of detail on the bucket. It can be just some straight lines, some wavy lines. There's always the good old polka dot. And there's always something I didn't bring, glitter. You can always use glitter to add to the tree, which would make it even more festive. Okay, so what's left? Well, that tree top. The poor thing needs a topper. Now, many things can be the tree topper. I can move this because I'm not going to need the clamp. All right, there's always the festive star. I did not bring a star today. I brought a couple of items that were on packages again. A bow, that would work, or even a bow down here would work. I brought a big bow, much bigger. That would probably go at the top. Your choice. Or something off of a package would even work. So you see there are many choices, and they're all things that were around the house. I did not shop for anything. Everything was at home. And I even had some kind of fabric ribbon that I would twist into the shape of a bow and make it fit size-wise at the top of the tree. The stiffer ribbon, of course, will stand out, and I think it looks a little more festive. This one's printed, but we have the plain one as well. And I'm going to cut it to size. Might be just a little bit too big, and you can determine what looks best. I think perhaps for all practical purposes, I'm going to use the red grosgrain ribbon and get that up there with a hot glue dot. Whoops. And there we have it. Now you can make your own decision at this point in time on if you need more or less. If you want to cut out more things from scraps of paper, it can go, as I said, on a door. It's ready to be lifted up and placed somewhere. Very good. I think that's it.
Wow,
And,
Elaine, that was absolutely amazing.
oh, thank you.
Very impressed. I could tell this is not your first rodeo. You have
No.
done this before. I was really taken by just the level of creativity, and it's just all about the items that you have in your own home. You could use anything and everything. But it was amazing to me how you could start with just a piece of paper, cut it, make it look like a tree, and then the bucket itself, I was amazed. It actually looked like a real bucket. A couple of points I wanted to make. I like the idea of the sponge with the painting. I thought that was really cool. Gave it a little bit of texture, and it's just an easy way to add a little bit more design. I was going to ask you, if people don't have a hot glue gun, can they just use regular glue or a piece of folded back tape to hold things in place?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did mention I had the white glue here.
Right, and that works. And I thought also if you didn't have the white paint that you could use white shoe polish.
That's right.
So that was, I mean, everybody's got white shoe polish probably in the house, or even other colors of polish as well. So probably markers. I think if you start rummaging around in the kitchen drawers, you're going to find a lot of items that you have stashed away that you just didn't realize that they were there. But again, a project that took about 15 minutes, very simple to do. And I liked what you said about the fact that this is a great project to do with children. So for grandchildren or whoever else you might have, it shows creativity. It's a fun thing to do together. And especially for children, allows them to really explore that creative side of who they are. So, Elaine, anything else that you want to share with our viewers before we wrap up here?
No, I think we're all set. Certainly there are many, many Christmas projects that would be similar to this. You could use other shapes. You could use the shape of a stocking. You could use a snowman, and you could decorate the snowman for your door. Many simple shapes that you fashion out of a single piece of paper and then decorate it with items around the home. Explore, be creative yourself. I'm sure you'll surprise yourself and have an enjoyable time doing it.
Well, Elaine Lees, owner of Art by Choice, thank you so much for coming into Studio 120 and sharing your passion that you've had ever since you were a child, essentially. I can see the teacher in you. You did an amazing job of laying everything out and explaining each step. I said, and I don't profess to have any creativity within my soul at all, but I said, I know my wife could do this because she's very creative. She would love this little project, and she'll probably be doing this when she watches this as it airs. But I'm thinking, yep, even I could do this. But for our viewers, if you want to learn more about how to get more involved with your own creative side, think about joining Elaine's art class at the Senior Center when we do reopen. COVID's going to come to an end and life will come back to normal. So think about getting re-involved in art classes at the Senior Center. They're on Thursdays from 1 to 3 in the afternoon, only $5 a class. It's a great thing to do, and you have a phenomenal teacher here with Elaine Lees, who's, I could tell already, very patient, very exacting in how you do everything, and really allows you to explore your own creativity. With that being said, on behalf of Pete Coles, producer of WCPC Westfield Cable Channel 15, and Tina Gorman, executive director of the Westfield Senior Center, I'm Harry Rock. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Westfield Council on Aging Presents. Thanks.